All right, welcome back, everyone. Welcome to my house. I know it has been a little bit since I uploaded another video. This video is specifically everything I did to the Civic. Now, I thought I put in the other videos of the exhaust what exactly I did, but I'm still getting a lot of questions what has been done to the Civic. So this is going to be everything I started with all the way up until now, and my thoughts of a lot of the different mods that I've done to the car, as well as the prices that I paid around, around the prices that you should be looking at, as well as I'm going to make sure to have all of the links in the bio, so it makes it a little bit easier for everyone that wants to do the same modifications. So I'm kind of going to be looking at you guys, but I have my laptop here that I put everything down there, so I know exactly what to look for. So let's get into it. So I started in the very beginning with just a plain simple muffler delete, and I didn't make it dual exhaust until much later. And I just, a couple little tips. When you guys do get a muffler delete, if you guys decide to go that route, make sure to keep your OEM muffler. You'll have the option to toss it away or keep it, but usually you want to keep it just in case you ever decide to sell a car, or you get tired of having a car that has any sound to it. So when I got that muffler delete, it was just one pipe. I didn't make it dual exhaust until a little bit later. So I paid around 120 to 150. I think it was 150. I remember there was a 5, so it might have been 115. I mean, it was somewhere around there. I looked up online and it says the average is about 50 to 250. So if you're checking out any places, make sure you get a couple different quotes before you go full muffler delete. Then I went over to the diffuser, and then I got the Y-pipe. The Y-pipe is a custom pipe that essentially will make it a dual exit for your exhaust setup. So I got the diffuser first, and I got it from Amazon. You could find it on Amazon, and you can find it on eBay. I was looking probably about a year ago, so around COVID time, I was looking them up again. And it was showing that the prices were getting a little bit crazy. So on Amazon, I paid about $50 for the diffuser, and I've seen them go all the way up to 80, and way past that. So if you guys get the diffuser that I got, just know that it doesn't sit flush, so it pokes out a little bit, and it was kind of hell to put on. It gets crazy, but it was held on by 2 tiny screws, and you'll definitely, when you're putting it on, you'll have to be pulling it and tugging it to get it as flush as you can, but once it's on the car, you really can't notice if it's sitting crooked or whatever. Alright, so then I put on the Y-pipe, and when you get the Y-pipe, especially if you're an LX, your car only has one side. There's like a metal frame, and on one side of the metal frame it's one pipe for where the muffler is. So essentially, when you get the Y-pipe, they have to cut part of this metal frame that's underneath the car to make space for that second pipe, and that doesn't do anything to affect the car. It's just you have to find out if that muffler shop is willing to do that. I know when I was trying to get it done, they were kind of weird about it, but then they just went full send. And I paid around $300 for that custom Y-pipe, including the installation of it. So what I noticed about that when I first added the Y-pipe was it felt like it made the car a little bit quieter than a regular muffler delete. But one of my friends, he was telling me that it could be because our cars, they really don't really clear like a lot of horsepower. You know, we're at like 150 something stock, so it might be that there's too much piping on the exhaust, and maybe the sound just gets quieter. I don't really know. I don't know the science of that. So essentially, after the Y-pipe, I went ahead and I got a HPS short ram air intake. So when you guys hear my car, especially when it's driving, it may sound a little bit louder than just a regular muffler delete. If you watched any of those videos, because the air intake will change the sound of your car. I mean, the short ram air intakes, I noticed the HPS one, it became like a more deep and throaty sound when I was accelerating, and and you guys are going to soon find out that I also have a cold air intake, and that one sounded a little bit different, but we'll get to that one. So when I got the HPS short ram air intake, I got it used for 150 bucks. It's about new is 230. Now they say on the website it's dyno proven performance gains, increased horsepower of 6.1 wheel horsepower and torque 6.2 foot-pounds. Yeah. So I mean, you're really not going to see much horsepower unless you tune your car and get a dyno tune and you have all the components on the car, blah blah blah. So just consider short ram air intakes tend to be more throaty sound. Cold air intakes, I think it's a more deep sound. I love the HPS short ram air intake. That was pretty awesome. I still have it. And when I got it used, it only had a couple hundred miles on it. At least that's what I was told, and it looked like it was in pretty good condition. But you still have to be kind of careful because people can easily just take off the old filter, put on a new K&N filter on it, and you know, just polish up the intake piping part, and it'll look brand new. So you just want to, you know, have that in mind. So then I ended up after that going with the Flowmaster. So the Flowmaster DBX, it's essentially known as a muffler. So you think of it, I already had a muffler delete, so what I ended up doing was I ended up deleting the resonator. Took out the resonator, replaced the resonator with the Flowmaster DBX, and it fits exactly where the resonator is. So the muffler is still gone, the original muffler, and in place is the Flowmaster. So essentially, after everything's done, it's a resonator delete with a muffler. So the Flowmaster changed the tone the most. It made it slightly louder than a muffler delete. It made the tone more deep and grumpy. That's what I like to say. And people ask me if there's a lot of drone with these cars. The muffler delete, not so much. I mean, it's really hard for me to explain if there is a lot of drone or if there's not a lot of drone, because I'm constantly in the S mode, sport mode. And when you're in S mode, there's tends to be more of a rev hang. So I think it's like when you get around like 3,000, let's say you go past 3,000 RPMs, then you let off the gas, and then it slowly goes back to 3,000. Then it kind of hangs around 3,000 for a little bit, and then it goes down. But it kind of sounds the most like if you're driving, I don't know, manual car compared to the regular drive mode. This is a good thing about the regular drive mode. When you're driving, and let's say it's too much sound for you, you just pop it into regular drive mode, and all the sound disappears. You're only going to get sound when you're pushing on the throttle, but that's like it goes full Tesla mode after that. And usually, you know, when I'm driving, I have all my windows down. I'm a big cigar smoker, so I'm usually smoking cigars, and at the same time I'm blasting my music. So sometimes I feel like the car is too quiet, I can't hear anything, and then other times I'm like, it's perfect. So let's see. Next, and you know what? Before I got the Flowmaster, I actually had KTuner. I got KTuner. I was like really wanting to see how big of a difference it would be on our cars. I got the V1.2 and I got it for about $450. So with the Flowmaster, with the KTuner, I got it. There's like two options. There's one with like a little tablet that I guess tells you all the analytic information when you're driving. I don't know what that's called, but usually you have that, and then you have the regular drive mode. So I kind of messed up because I think now, after dealing with the KTuner, I don't have a proper laptop to be running KTuner, and I was kind of freaking out. Like when I first got it, I was like, I just want to slap it on, so I was able to use one of my friend's computers. But now it's kind of like, damn, if there's things I want to try and mess around with tunes, I need the right computer to run the software. So I have a Mac laptop, and that's not the right computer. So, but with the tablet, I'm pretty sure you can work on loading the tunes and returning back to stock tune right there on the tablet while you're sitting in the car. So that's nice. But I think that's like $600-700 more. No, $600-700. So it's kind of like it's good, and it's like I don't know. But KTuner has one base tune for our cars, which is the K20C2. It's said to improve throttle response. VTEC is lowered to 5300, and mid-range and top-end power increases. So again, I think there would be a huge difference putting it on and then putting it on and having it dyno tested. I have not had it dyno tested, but actually I found a shop close by that I think they're offering 3 dyno tests for like $300. So that might be pretty cool to take a look at it. You definitely can hear that VTEC, the VTEC sooner. I think stock VTEC comes in at like, I want to say it's like 5600, or I might be way off. But it's lower to 5300. So I mean, if you're got enough space, because our cars are pretty slow, so if you got enough space to even get up past 5000, you'll be able to hear the VTEC kick in. So that's cool. And yeah, you feel like there is a little bit of power, but it's so hard to tell with our cars if we do have more power, if we don't have that much power. I think the ultimate answer is get it dyno tuned after you get all this stuff. So then you'll really be able to tell if you're making more power or not. And if you have a CVT transmission, so it's automatic, you got to be careful, because you don't want to like blow up your CVT or really mess it up. Our CVT transmissions can really only hold so much power compared to like the turbo cars. So that's something you have to do some research on as well. So I believe really the biggest modifications we could do to our cars, besides the exhaust, is the air intake, a downpipe, and a tune. And then some like coilovers, stuff like that. But that's not really power stuff. So let's see here. If you guys like backfires or the burble sound, the original Muffler delete pops a lot, or does like a nice little burble. If you guys check out my older YouTube videos, you might be able to find a couple that have me trying to get it to pop. Now I notice with the Flowmaster, it's actually kind of crazy. Now it pops a lot more if you do like a really hard acceleration and then jump off the throttle. Then it makes some loud pops. And then I usually don't mess too much with driving in the low mode, the low gear. But when I do, if you're going like 30, 35, maybe even 40 miles per hour, and then you like accelerate hard on the throttle and then lift off, then it makes even a louder pop, which is pretty cool. But also, I don't know how much I trust the low mode, the low gear, for driving, at a little bit faster speeds. That's usually more made for, going up hills, or I use it sometimes if we got a lot of snow over here, or you just want to be a little bit more careful driving. But I usually don't recommend messing around with the low gear as much. So a lot of people will usually try to dump extra fuel into the motor during deceleration or mess with the timing on KTuner to create backfires, but I think before I even attempt to do anything that could potentially ruin my car or just make it a little bit more rough, I'm going to mess around a lot with the exhaust. The aim right now is to find the perfect exhaust system for our cars, and that's just messing around with a lot of things. What you guys are going to see too is in probably the next video, I'm working with 14-15 different people, and we're going to take a whole collaboration of exhaust videos, put it all together, and then I'm probably going to upload that tomorrow. So today is Friday, it's 8 p.m. right now. I'm going to try to get this video live by tonight, and then tomorrow the goal is probably tomorrow night, probably by 10, I'm going to upload that video. I'm still waiting on a couple other videos, but that's going to give like a whole idea of all the different exhaust setups that you could do. There's still an infinite number out there of different options and all that stuff. So after getting the KTuner, after doing the Flowmaster, I've seen a ton of people go after the AEM cold air intake, and because my car is kind of like a test car, it's all going for science. All my money right now is just going for science for this car. The idea is test out the different products, see if it's worthy or not, so you guys don't have to go through the same expense that I've gone through so far. So I went ahead, I picked up the cold air intake. They said the estimated horsepower gain was 7 horsepower. So it is usually around $400. But I see a lot of YouTubers now, they're always, they're getting paid by this company called Honey that has like a bunch of coupons and stuff like that. So I messed around and I went ahead and got that. And it's free, and you put on your browser, you do all that stuff. When you're shopping, it shows you all the coupons. So it actually took off $50. I found a coupon. Took off $50 off of the $400, so I really only paid about $350 for it. But I also feel like it made my Civic quieter. It made the sound not as deep as the short ram. And there's still days where I'm like, I want to put the short ram back on, but I'm also like, I know cold air is a lot better in theory because you're getting the air from the outside, whereas the HPS short ram air intake, really any short ram air intake, you're collecting all the air that's inside the engine bay. So it's kind of like, I don't really know what to do. Future exhaust and engine mods. I picked up a NVIDIA N1 catback about a year and a half ago. It might have been 2 years. And there's something special that I want to do with that exhaust. I'm not just going to put it on. There's some little things that I want to do to it first. That's why it's taken this long. So that has to be that's going to be put on hopefully by the summertime, or at least when it gets a little warmer over here from the East Coast. And I'm also looking at getting a RV6 Carid downpipe. And my friend is always busting my chops because my car is slow. And he always told me to look at camshafts or headers or something like that from 8th gen Civic Si to swap onto our cars, because apparently the K20C2 is still a K-series engine, so there might be something there, possibly that can make it faster. But the only downside with my LX is I don't have paddle shifters, and it's also not a manual. So I'm also, in theory, I know you Civic Sport people out there, you guys got paddle shifters, and you guys also have the same engine as us LX people. So in theory, I wonder if you guys could put a Honda Civic Sport steering wheel with the paddle shifters and put it on a LX or even an EX. But then you'll probably have to tune it for it or something. You have to do something. I'm not sure. So that's something I gotta look into as well, because I feel like if we had paddle shifters or something, it could help us a little bit more. Now, exterior mods. Like I said, the diffuser, got it from Amazon. The side skirt and the front splitter, it was only 20 bucks off of eBay. Now, if you guys see my side splitter, it is not like super long like the Type R ones or whatever. It's a little bit shorter. I kind of like that style a little bit. It's slightly different than all the other 10th gen Civics out there. So, I'll see if I can find that link. But when you're looking for these parts on eBay or Amazon or whatever, you just gotta type in 10th gen Civic. You know, hopefully you put the 2016 or put your year model, side skirt, front splitter, whatever. Like, they're all mostly the same thing. So, and so, you know, look around to find the best prices that you could find. And unfortunately, my front splitter, the middle piece. So the front splitter is like 3 pieces, and it's like it's a cheap one. You know, it's 3 pieces, so it's kind of screwed on all together. The middle piece is missing. I lent it out to someone, and when it came back, the car was missing the middle piece. So it actually kind of looks cool, but at the same time, I don't know. So I ended up finding it's most likely fake carbon fiber front splitter to put on. So I'm gonna try to get that on. If you get any of these like cheap modifications, especially the front splitter, I always suggest to pick up an extra one. Because most likely it's gonna either get curbed, it's gonna hit something, it's gonna go bye-bye, you know. So the Duckbill I got off of eBay, and you got to be careful with the Duckbill. There's a lot of shops on eBay, there's a couple shops on Amazon, but I checked out this one place on Instagram. I don't want to hate on them, but they were trying to make me pay like $150 for it, which is just ridiculous. You know, I picked up mine, I think it was like $60 or $70. But now I see them a lot going for like 90 plus. But just keep your eye on it. You know, if you gotta wait a couple extra weeks to get the best price one, I suggest to do it. Now, the exhaust tips I got from a website called Carid. Now, I think I paid about 80 bucks for those things. But those are a 2.5 inlet and a 4.5 outlet, and they are 9 inches long. And they look crazy in person when you're picking it up. You're like, I don't think it's supposed to be like this, but it looks great on the car. Once it gets on, you'll be fine. So mud flaps I picked up from Rally Armor. They cost me $159.86. They don't completely stick out of the car, but they stay flush with the side skirt. So that's awesome. Also, the rear bumper lip, it's this like little black piece that goes behind the side skirt and like kind of right next to the diffuser. I picked that off of eBay as well. I'll try to find the link for that. Let's see, got that. Now, the carbon fiber custom Honda badges. I got that from a company out. Sorry about that, guys. I ended up losing space on my on my phone here. But as I was about to say, carbon fiber custom Honda badges. I got those from Carbon 6 Element. They're out of Taiwan, I believe. Taiwan or Thailand, one of those places. Anyway, you can find them on Instagram. Real carbon fiber. You could make custom badges. You can get whatever you want. I like them because and they end up taking a couple weeks. But I like those because they're different from the regular Type R badges. I've seen some people use like the Type R badges, but like then they end up putting the Type R symbols and stuff like that on non-Type R cars. I don't know. I think it can work on some cars, but I don't know. To each their own. So I got that done, and now my future mods that I'm looking at doing is window tint. I want to add yellow vinyl to the fog lights to have yellow fog lights. I need a new grill that I need to install. My OEM one is starting to pop off for some reason. And I've also been searching for the most realistic carbon fiber vinyl wrap, because there are parts on the car that I want to wrap in carbon fiber. Now, I can't really afford the real carbon fiber, and I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that probably are in the same boat. So I finally found this awesome wrap, but I'm gonna have a local shop that I know. They're gonna be testing it out for the next few days, see if it's something that it's not super cheap, see if it's actually reliable, and that it won't start peeling and doing all that stuff. So they're currently gonna mess around with the carbon fiber wrap, and I'm looking to wrap my hood, mirrors, duckbill, side skirt, and diffuser, ideally. And then, you know what, if I still have the car in another year or two, and I save up enough money for real carbon fiber, then sure, why not? I'll do it. But as of right now, that is my complete whole mods and modifications that I've done to my 2016 Honda Civic LX. Now I'm gonna be uploading another video, kind of follow up, just kind of telling you guys where I've been, what I've been doing, and what the next video is gonna be. So I hope you guys learned something, and again, if you guys got any questions, don't be afraid to comment down below. Also, my Instagram will be in the info, so you guys can reach out to me there as well, whatever you feel more comfortable with. And yeah, hope everyone has a great, well, let me see, there we go, great night, or have a great weekend. Let's say that. Have a great weekend. I'm out of here. Adios.